Java. We're here in Northborough with Rick Kaplan. He's the president of RE/MAX Executive Realty Commercial Division. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful alone, yes.
You know? Can I just say you're Rick?
I'm Rick with the Commercial Division.
All right, that's great. So you specialize in commercial. Let's say that you're going out and you're working with someone who needs to have a new office somewhere, and you've identified a location, and everyone starts to get excited. What are some of the questions that you start to ask at that point as you work with that client?
Once we identify one or two, possibly three different locations that the client would want, the question always immediately is, what's the lease rate? But the lease rate actually has some variables you always have to consider. How long of a lease term are you willing to sign? What type of credit does this client of yours have? Are they signing personally? Is it in the name of the company? And then also, how much build-out is required? These all affect the lease rate. Now, the lease rate, if you think about it as the landlord is offering his space for value. Now, if the landlord has to spend money to make that space work for my client, we have to take that into consideration. And for him to lay money out of his pocket to do that build-out, he's got to know what he has. Is the client creditworthy, and he's going to get his money back? So those are all factors we've actually put into the lease rate. Some tenants say, hey, I'll sign a lease for, I really only need it for 2 years to start, but geez, I'll probably be here for the next 5-6 years. Well, there's an advantage. If the space needs to be built out, let's sign it for 5 years and get the landlord to pay for the build out as opposed to you, my client, paying for the build out.
One of the things I've also found interesting in the commercial space is the idea of who's going to pay to take care of things over time. Is it a triple net lease, or is there a CAM charge? And all that stuff, if you don't understand it, it can be overwhelming.
It's true, it's very true. That's why you do need to look at the details. When you after you move into a lease space, you have to know who's responsible for what aspect. I can't tell you how many times people have went to sign a lease and I quickly reviewed it and I said, oh, wait a minute, you can't say that you're responsible for replacement of the HVAC. That's just an example. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, no, the landlord said they'll take care of it, but I just have to take care of the maintenance. Well, that's not what your lease says. Your lease says something different. And you have to make sure you read the details of leases. If you move into a space that's for a 5-year lease, you don't know when the HVAC was installed. That could have been installed 5, 10, 15 years ago. So you as a tenant can't take the responsibility of that without some guidelines. Sometimes the landlord insists that a tenant takes care of normal maintenance. Well, in that case, we'll cap the normal maintenance on behalf of the tenant, our client, and say our client will pay X amount for normal maintenance. However, if any items need to be replaced, such as a motor, a fan motor, or something like that, that falls on the landlord. So you always try to protect your client.
So you really need to have someone that knows what the heck they're doing when it comes to commercial office lease.
It's different, you really do. And if you're going to sign a lease, you got to realize you are signing a promise to take care of this property, of this space. And you have to understand what you're signing, and that's why hopefully you're in touch with a professional real estate advisor such as myself.
Great. Well, I want to thank Rick, the professional real estate advisor, which is easier to say than president of RE/MAX Executive Realty Commercial Division. I want to thank you for coming out today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Gary.
Great, thanks.
Great to be here.